Good morning. It is Saturday, June 18th, 2016, and two of the first people I met metal detecting on Facebook when I joined up last year was Mark and Robert Stepanitis, and we are on an invite from those two today, and Dan's along as well. We are in eastern Connecticut at a series of cellar holes that hopefully nobody has ever hit before. Hopefully we'll get some good stuff, so stay tuned and let's see what we're going to dig. Alrighty, here's our first stop of the day, and there's a cellar hole over that direction, and from what Dan says, this is a place that Todd and Dave, the dynamic duo, have hit before, so we're going to try our best. But one of the things I wanted to point out was I haven't been out in about 6 weeks. I know it's only been 2 weeks since my last video, but if you look at the ground, it's just littered with leaves, and if you look up in the trees, everything's been decimated. All these oak trees and some of the other trees are just getting obliterated by gypsy moths, and they are everywhere. They're all over the ferns, they're all over the blueberries, and it's just amazing. It's the middle of June and these trees are stripped bare, and we've literally walked through a mile of this. There's just thousands and thousands and thousands of gypsy moths who are just pulling off us and whatnot. So, unbelievable what's going on in New England this year with the gypsy moths. Alright, here's my first target of the day, low 30s, and I've already flipped it out of the hole apparently because I couldn't find it. I can see it. And it jives with a low 30s VDI. Just a little plain button. So, we are on the board. Let's keep going. Well, I guess the goings are a little slow here. Dave and Todd did a pretty good job here, but maybe after 45 minutes or so, I finally got myself a little button here. Let's take a look. And I do mean little. Looks like the one I just dug. You know what? Yeah, that's a button. It's crumbly. You know what? That might be half a cuff link. I think that's what I'm looking at. Piece of a small cuff link. Very low VDI, 20, 25, about 6 inches down. Dan's got a couple buttons too, and I hear Robert may have himself a copper. I'll have to get over there and take a look when we get around him. There's Robert's copper. What'd you say it was? King George III?
Third, yeah.
Somebody's clipped it into a stop sign. Never seen one clipped like that.
Neither have I.
That's cool. Very nice. A little bit slow. Dave and Todd really did beat this place up pretty good, I guess. Apparently these nasty little critters are also loving these wild blueberries. There's a lot of wild blueberry out here, and you can just see these gypsy moths all over. Well, these always sound pretty good. Give me 50 or 60 VDI. Old piece of iron buckle, probably off a tack or something like that. Yep, Dave and Todd did pretty good at this site. We're not getting a whole lot. It's been pretty quiet between digs here. Tough to see through the trees here, but over that direction is where the home and the barn and all the walls are. And back here in the corner where I'm at, a couple stone walls meet. Well, well, well. It is hiding. Kind of collapsed in on itself a little bit, but sure enough, that's the well down here, a little bit of a low spot. And it's a little wet back there. Well, we're going to wander around a little bit to another site here. See if we can't do a little better. Because that one's kind of slow. Alright, spot number 2 for the day, and cellar hole is directly in front of me. That's been beaten up, but I got a pretty good tone in it. I think I can see something in the hole. It might be a coin, probably a dandy button. Let's take a look. It's got a little shadow in here, but I think it's over yonder. And it's a bazinga. Big old piece of pewter lead. Poop. Right on the heels of that lovely piece of pewter or lead I dug, I got a button. Can't tell if the shank has been bent like that or that's just the way it is. Huh. Interesting. Well, you have a little better luck. We've only been here about 10-15 minutes and I'm doing a little better than I did the last site. Alright, we got a little something better this time. Found some between actually 67 and 72, and I was hoping it was going to be something a little better, but I got myself a nice dandy button. Let's take a look where it flopped out of the hole. And I know it's in this plug right here, and I can see it. Yeah, that's a big one. A nice shank on it. Nice thick one, too. And I hope it would be another GW, but I don't think I'm going to get that lucky. Very nice, big plain dandy button. That was a nice screamer. That's why it sounded so good. That one's thick and meaty. Took you dirty little rat. You know, base of Mr. Tree here. Myself a little flat button. Just a plain little flat button. Not doing too bad. I'm getting something every 15-20 minutes here, which is better when we were doing it at the other site. And that's done for spot number 2. Once again, Dave and Todd beat it up pretty good. But we all got a little something out of there. And sadly, it's a spot that you got to scratch off the list. Don't even bother going there anymore. It's not like fishing where the fish come back. Let's see what site number 3 brings us. Alright, and here we are at spot number 3. Directly in front of me right there, that little hump is the cellar hole. And there's some walls that run up that way. And this is a place that Dan's been to a couple times with his old detecting partner, George. Some hills up there, and there's more walls up that way from fields. I'm standing across the road here. You can see other walls that are running up that way. And another field over there, and there's some really old trees. I'll pan over this way. I'm working this fern-filled field over here. It's gorgeous. I'm not sure what this would have been over here, maybe the barn. But Dan says he hasn't worked too much over here, obviously, because that's just choked out with ferns, but this is where I'm going to go. I'm going to give this a little bit, because we've got maybe a better spot in another town. This will be our last stop for this area. Wish us luck. Well, as promised, I said I was going to come over and play in the ferns, and Dan asked what I was getting over here, and I told him spent casings, fired rounds, you name it, somebody's target practice. But I'm getting a 79 or 80, and it's about 6 inches down, so it's going to either be maybe a coin or an ox knob. I don't know. Let's take a look. Alright, we got some silver, and it's going to be some old silver. So we're going to bust out a little foo-foo juice and see what we got.
That down was awful big.
What do you think it is?
I think it's a cab.
Oh, she's a seated. Let's see it there. 18 City 57? I can't tell. And there she is. I can get her in focus here. I don't know how Kurt does this. 1877, no mint mark. Nice clean dime. See the Liberty on it's in great shape. I don't dig these very often, so this was a great find. Alright, we're going to get out of here. I think we're going to take a ride and go to the other end of the state and hit some holes, so stay tuned. And we're hiking into spot number 4 here. And this is one that Todd and Dave have hit with these guys a couple of weeks ago, and then after that we got spot number 5 where nobody's been to, hopefully. Well, there's my first find at spot number 4. Looks like a back of a 2-piece button. At the base of this tree here. Have to take a wander over, take a look at the cellar hole. I haven't done that yet. Just kind of dropped the coil and started working. So we'll stop and take a look at that at some point. Alright, so I'm kind of monkeying around, I think, in an animal pen. The opening for it there, and I got some walls that come around this side and this side. And see, it's not very big, and another bigger pile of rocks over in this corner here. Way down in there, underneath some of that. I had to pull that guy out, but I got me an axe head, and I've never dug one of these before. That is definitely coming home with me. Very cool find. And as promised, here's the cellar hole. A lot of logs and stuff in it, not much to look at. And over that way is the animal pens. That's where I just came from. This has been beat up pretty good, and Mark's over here with the old AT Pro, so probably pretty well picked by now. I'm going to probably start doing a little orbiting. Alright, off we go to spot number 5. Spot number 4 was pretty picked out. I think Dan had the winner with a rated here large set. I got my axe head and my back of a 2-piece button. I'm kind of hoping this next site's going to be like that one used to be, untouched. See you when we get there. And here is spot number 5. That little mess in there is the cellar hole. That's a pretty deep one and looks pretty caved in. There's some age to it, but the logger's been up here a while and they kind of ruined it for us in a spot or two. But hopefully nobody's been up here before, or barely been up here. Let's see how it goes. Well, this one doesn't make sense. There are no nails around that cellar hole I showed you. The only thing we're getting around it are big chunks of cast iron cattle. I think Robert got a tom back. We've been here half an hour between the 4 of us, and that's it. This one doesn't make sense unless the place exploded or they built it like Flintstone's house style. 4 big slabs of stone and a roof. No iron, or very little iron. So this is probably going to be it. I don't know what time it is, getting on 4 o'clock, and we got a long walk out of here. So if I dig something, I'll throw it in before this. Otherwise, thanks for watching, what little there was. Subscribing, commenting, liking, and we'll see you on the next one.